Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields on this Wednesday, and we're seeing this big system that rolled by over toward parts of the United States, that front dipping down, but a bigger system headed our way. I want to dive into what's next. A larger system, a higher chance of rain, a bigger shift in winds. That will mean some cooler weather. We're going to see a lot of moisture surging across Mexico, parts of the U.S., into the Gulf of Mexico, and eventually into parts of the Caribbean. Everything's going to be really tied together from really Canada all the way down through the Caribbean as we go over the next 2 days. I do want to point out we still have that dust around. That is a big concern. We've had that from Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Many of us have had the dust. Thinking of you if you have breathing issues, because that air quality is greatly reduced. I'll monitor that the next few days. It could be a little bit rough with that. Now, let me show you what's going on. Let me start here, and then I'll show you the winds and the seas. This is later today. So what's going to happen is a front is going to work its way, kind of develop and work its way across parts of Canada in the U.S. In this time around, and this doesn't always happen, it's really able to tap into a lot of moisture down toward Mexico, parts of the Pacific. There's just some extra moisture hanging there. So as this front moves in through the U.S., look at it just kind of grab that moisture. The green there, that's the rain. The white there, that's the snow. And just kind of pulls this all together. This is by the end of the week. This here is by Saturday. So a system kind of winding up off the east coast of the U.S., parts of the Atlantic region of Canada again. But look at that surge of moisture. This is a lot of rain as we work our way Saturday into Sunday, parts of the southeast U.S., parts of Florida, over toward the Bahamas. And then, as I mentioned, this kind of dips down. You see that rain on Saturday near Belize, Honduras, as we get back toward Mexico, the Yucatan, and then back through Cuba, Cayman Islands, and eventually some of this is going to hang together. So through the Bahamas as we work our way into Monday, parts of Cuba, Cayman Islands near Jamaica, even Haiti, Turks and Caicos, some of this rain will move in. This is a bigger system, and this is what I'll be tracking with you over the next few days. So let me kind of zoom in here first, and then I'll get into the winds and those seas. Now today I mentioned the dust is around. Elsewhere, you may catch some spotty showers. The rain chance in the short term, you see here, this is by tomorrow. It's not super high, but there's that moisture building. I mentioned how the Pacific, I've been watching just some rain there. There's a lot there. It really has nowhere to go. It's just kind of sitting there. So the front up here is able to just kind of grab it and move it in. So by the time we get into late on Friday, see across Mexico, parts of Texas, Louisiana, into parts of Florida, the rain increasing. And then as we get into the weekend, it really starts to build through the Gulf. This is by Saturday afternoon, that surge of moisture, even over toward parts of Guatemala, El Salvador. We'll see that rain chance getting higher. This is our Saturday afternoon working into parts of Florida. And then we'll keep an eye on our northern zones of the Caribbean, especially parts of Central America as we work our way into our Sunday. The rain chance is going to get higher. You see that rain moving into the Cayman Islands on our Sunday. And then eventually, as I mentioned, this could move toward Jamaica with a better chance of rain. At the least, we'll get some spotty showers around. At the most, we could get a decent rainfall in some spots, not looking at a big flooding concern. And as we go out in time, though, I'll keep you posted on some of those rain totals. But it will change the winds once again. So let me take you through that, and then I'll get into the wave heights. We have that easterly flow, choppy seas with us across the Caribbean. Across the Bahamas, the winds are more out of the north behind the front that's still impacting the storm system, still impacting Newfoundland. And then going out in time, this is tomorrow afternoon, that easterly flow still with us across much of the Caribbean. And then just going out in time further, this is by the time we get into Friday. Let me stop it here. So this is our Friday afternoon, and we get a look at the winds kind of what's building Friday into Saturday. Pretty gusty winds through the Caribbean out ahead of this. So choppy seas, heads up our boaters out there, choppy seas on our Friday. Winds out of the south in the Gulf of Mexico on Friday. That's telling me we have a front that is nearing, because here's why. Look what happens on Saturday. Easterly flow across much of the Caribbean, but we see the change in the winds right here. Look at this northerly flow diving down in parts of Mexico in the United States. Out ahead of it, winds are coming in out of the south across Jamaica and Cuba. So something has to be in between, and that is our front. That's our storm system dividing the very warm air and the cooler air and the rain with it. And then look at that sweeping in by the time we get into Sunday. Gusty winds, we'll have those gale warnings up for the Gulf and the Caribbean through the weekend. Strong winds coming down out of the north once again. And not only will we get a northerly flow for a lot of us late weekend, but really into next week, we will also see that higher chance of rain with this system. This system's a little bit lower. It's a little bit closer to us, which means the rain chance will be higher. Now, as far as the seas go, things have been choppy in building, especially in the central Caribbean. I've been watching over toward Aruba, over toward parts of Colombia, northern Venezuela. We've seen those seas on the choppy side, over toward Jamaica. Barbados coming in off of the Atlantic with that strong flow out of the east off the Atlantic. We've had some flooding the last few days. Those seas have been elevated. Let me just take you out in time here. This is by Saturday. Now, Saturday, you see things building. Already choppy, couple meters, about 2 to 3 meters in the Caribbean, but building here to about 6 meters in parts of the Gulf of Mexico. That corresponds to about 15 feet. There's feet. Try to keep everyone covered. There's feet. Here's meters. So you see how things are really going to be building. This is the next system working in Saturday into Sunday, both the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic waters for that matter. We're going to see things getting really elevated second half of the weekend into early next week. Now, in the short term, as I mentioned earlier, the rain chance isn't super high. Jamaica, Cayman Islands, few passing showers, but by Sunday, the rain chance is going to be higher. Trinidad and Tobago, watching that dust, the dust thick at times in Barbados, and still some coastal flooding, just some of that overwash that we've had in Barbados. Rain chance bumping up a little bit tomorrow in St. Lucia. Could get a few passing showers. Grenada just locked into the lower air quality. St. Vincent the Grenadines, 10 to 20% chance the next 3 days. And again, the next 3 days, that air quality will be reduced. Martinique, rain chance 20%. 20 to 30% as we get into Dominica. We work our way just to the north, Guadeloupe. Isolated passing showers. Still some dust around Antigua and Barbuda. Rain chance stays limited. It will pick up some next week, though, with that system nearby. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, rain chance about 20%, and a 20% chance for the end of the week, my friends in St. Bart's and Anguilla. St. Martin, Saba, Statia, rain chance holding at a low 20%. Puerto Rico, we're looking at about a 30% chance, 30 to 40% chance of some passing showers, U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands. And as we get back toward the Dominican Republic, just a passing shower, 10 to 20% chance, and in Haiti, mainly dry. But again, Dominican Republic, over toward Haiti next week, especially midweek, we could see a few more showers. The rain chance will be higher. Bahamas, we'll be keeping an eye on that weekend, especially Sunday, for the higher chance of rain. Turks and Caicos will see a better chance of rain early next week. Cuba, we'll be watching out for this system as well. In the short term, 20 to 30% chance. Belize, about a 40% chance, 40 to 50% chance, and a 40% chance in the Yucatan of Mexico the next 2 days. Aruba, rain chance stays small, and over across the ABC Islands, we get toward Curacao and Bonaire, we have some of that dust around as well. So the air quality is also lower. Bermuda, we're watching this system moving away, and then we'll keep an eye on the next one. We get back toward Costa Rica and Panama, even Nicaragua, rain chance about 20 to 30%, 20 to 30% chance in Guyana and in Suriname, northern Venezuela, northeastern Venezuela, watching out for some of that Saharan dust, which has dropped the air quality. So yesterday's video, I was highlighting Kikum Jenny, monitoring that underwater volcano in Grenada or near Grenada. So for more information on that, you can see yesterday's video, and I'll continue to monitor that. But this video, we've been highlighting that bigger system forming. The rain chance will eventually be going up, keeping an eye on the dust and the earthquake. So a lot going on. Thank you for sharing this information, taking the time to subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.